Okay, this is Domain of Concern number 6, our final one in Anti-Fragility Fitness. Welcome back. This is JD. Now we're going to go into financial management. Financial management. Before, we just talked about business management. But financial management is about two things. One, it's about investing. Two, it's about spending. And then the spin-offs from there, another form of investing is saving. But also, spending has to do with protection and preserving. On the investing side, it's very important that you take 20% of whatever you earn, and that 20% is put away. It needs to be automatically set up. Set up your banking situation so that you are all set and not emotional about taking that division of money away from your checks. If you do this, you will build up a reserve, an organic way of building your company so that what you sell will affect future conditions tomorrow. Isn't it great to have a company that has liquidity by kind of paying yourself or paying profit as a first item of expense? When you pay profit as a first item of expense, you determine a percentage that you're going to pay your company. This makes you incredibly resilient because when you do this over several years and you build up this kind of working capital, you're able to use it when the time comes. And if it's emergency money, then so be it. It is, but it may be the very carry-through, the thing that actually threads you through some pretty dicey passages. It will be your supporting device. It will be the thing, the mantle through which you will be able to take a path and be able to depend on the stability of that path as you work through some pretty tough weather systems. So whatever you do today with your cash flow habits is going to affect your tomorrows. And that means paying your profit first as a first item of expense. If you make $100,000 a month, well, then you need to take that 10% and put it away. Then you can think about what you want to do with that 10%, whether you want to play the stock market or buy real estate or collect antiques, buy jewelry, whatever your fancy is. But the point is you're going to invest that money in assets that are going to grow in value. And those assets growing in value are things that actively earn out more earning potential later on. Let's say that you want to cash out, you get more equity, but you're doing that in a way that's without you making the active effort to do so. So the investing piece is getting that money there and having a consistent automatic system to make sure that that 10 or 20% is always cut over and it's not about your emotional discretionary decisions. I can't say enough about that automatic capability. That is mandatory. Now the other side of it is making sure that you are saving, but not only that, you're investing. And so the investing is thinking about the best investments that you can make. So in doing so, you can call a financial advisor. You could certainly do that, but you might also learn a little bit more on your own. There's plenty of great books and authors out there that can teach that, like The Automatic Millionaire or Rich Dad, Poor Dad or The Millionaire Next Door or The Richest Man in Baghdad, and there's many, many more, but they all pretty much emphasize one thing. You've got to learn how to live within your means and make sure that you pay yourself first, and then as you come up with a sum of money, let's say it's $10,000, $20,000, that's when you reach a line, a milestone, when you're ready to invest that money into buying assets. Now that asset level, you can take a higher risk for a bigger opportunity, or you can mitigate your risk. Like putting it into a savings account is going to have a very low rate of return. But if you buy a highly volatile set of tech stocks, you may have a much higher return, but you have a much higher risk. Mutual funds, those could be diversified. You might have a look at that using a financial advisor. There are also a lot of other creative ways that you can do this so that you can offset the tax man, use your IRAs, your SEP IRA, self-employment IRA, and your Roth IRA or regular IRA in a productive way depending on your tax priorities. If you want more cash flow now or if you want it then, there's a lot of different decisions you can make. Again, you may want to get together with a financial counselor, professional planner who can do that with you and for you. And so that's the investing piece. You need to be thinking about that, is how much you're going to keep there. Now, when things get tough, it's not all of a sudden time to go and get jumpy and start to cash out your 401k. It's important to leave the money in there because things do change, right? Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And this too shall pass. And so as things change, it'll come back up again. You just want to have that kind of tolerance in there to keep it in there and not get too jumpy and make emotional decisions. As far as spending, I wouldn't make a budget. I've been asking for budgets for years. What I would do, though, is write down the 5 things that you truly can't live without, and then put a cost by those. Make sure that you organize your spending around those because that's what really matters to you. Those are your values. Then make your B categories of things that are important. Those are things that you want, but they're not indispensable to your happiness. And then maybe the third category are other things that are more C's. You want to also look at what you really need. What does it cost for you to have your needs? Your lifestyle needs, your living needs, your basic needs, what I call your break-even needs. Needs that you just need. You need to have this as a basic lifestyle. What is that? You should know that number. And then beyond that, what do you want for discretionary spending? Why? And then beyond that, what are you going to be saving and so forth, and what are you saving for? So getting some sense of financial direction means you have a fortitude there. You're forward in your thinking. You're not emotion-based on all of this. And the point is that you do have a plan for investing, for saving, for spending, but also preserving and protecting. You need to have the right risk management. Do you have the proper insurances that are in place? You need homeowners insurance. You need to have those. Your property and casualty insurance should include your automobile. You may also want to have some life insurance, health insurance, renter's insurance. But talking to a property and casualty broker or agent is a great idea to look at what your assets are and make sure that you protect them. Last thing you want is to be in jeopardy to have those assets get lost in the wrong time. So these are things you probably already know. I'm just getting you to kick your own butt to kind of shore this up. Think about this fortress. Think about these 6 fortresses as a set of domains here that make an aggregate fortress, a master fortress, and that this fortress is impenetrable, that your change management, you are built with bench strength in those areas that I talked about. The stress management, on point. And then you have your earning management, your relationship management, your business management, your financial management. You've got these 6 domains of concern, and that as you make them shored up, as you think about them creatively in the creative process, you realize that there's a consistent review. You could review these every week. You could evaluate your week based on them. You could keep a weekly rhythm register to see if all the activities and habits and behaviors and the people that you interact with, you could take a look at how you're conducting this. But the most important thing is that you keep your professional coaching. That means that you have someone who's a guide, who's watching your 6, who's consistently driving your A game in all of these domains. And if you keep your focus on this, you'll eventually outgrow the challenges. You're going to become immune. That's the whole point of anti-fragility. It's a disciplined level of leading in your life. It's about creating. It's not about your gratifications. It's about your character. It's about keeping on, focusing on the things that matter to you and being in service to them. It's about turning on your commitment to excellence and achieving greatness and mastery in the 6 areas that really build a fortress that the circumstances, the weather systems, you could pretty much climb any mountain and probably remain confident that things are going to be okay. So, you need to think about these things. You have to work on it. They're not going to come into play by themselves. This is about taking responsibility as a creator. This is about being responsible for 100% of your own security. You have to do that by creating value for someone else. That's an entrepreneurial mindset. But you are the predominant creative force in your life. That's a fundamental choice that you make. And when you make that, all of a sudden, all the other primary choices and goals, they're for you to consider. Toward what do I want to invest my life spirit? And how do I want to shore up these 6 domains of concern to align with and support the continuous growth of my life-building process? I really appreciated the opportunity to share these 6 domains with you. My hope is that by informing you, you're a little more alert and responsive and responsible and aware for how you can create your life as art. That being said, I have an invitation for you. Would you have a look at high-level performance? Would you take a look at what it's like to be coached? If this is something that you are intrigued with, maybe it's time to get a wingman. Maybe it's time to really hold your feet to the fire and be accountable, to get organized to create what you want, to continue to facet your motivation to your most important outcomes, to continue to keep structure around things, make sure things are organized and tidy. Think about it. Who holds that position on the fingers of your hand of someone that knows your dream and future, wants the most for you, drives you forward towards it, eliminates the waste, early warns you about problems? It's really interesting to have someone in the cockpit or ride sidecar with you like that. In fact, for me, there's nowhere else to go but that. That is the only way I do it. It's about teamwork. It's about being one. Because when you're comfortable with your ignorance, you realize that getting help is the only answer. It means that you don't know everything. You're not going to figure this all out. You're profoundly struck with humility, that life is bigger than you, and maybe it's time to understand the fallibilities that you have. And that's when you know it's time to be coached. That's when you truly become a leader, because great leaders are coached. So you can call us at 714-375-6624, 714-375-6624. My name is JD. I am the founder and head coach at High Level Performance. I appreciated this opportunity to speak with you today. You can find me on Amazon or lulu.com. I have several books that are online that hold the tools from all of my coaching over 22 years, almost 30,000 sessions over that time. And so I'd like to continue to share these great ideas and wisdom with you, but my favorite thing of all is to be one-on-one in the trenches with my coaching clients. So I hope I have the opportunity to speak with you, and I hope I have the opportunity to touch your life in some way so that you get to continue this evolutionary process of being the best human being that you can be, not only for the service of yourself and your children, but generations to come. Why not? Why not be there for yourself? Why not invest in yourself to be the best leader that you can possibly bring? Why not connect with all of your future possibilities by becoming part of a wingman team and knowing how to be taking direction and guidance from someone who's in the cockpit, who's got your six, who understands your quirks, who gets your strengths, who understands you, gets you, and looks after you? Why not give yourself this gift? Go to highlevelperformance.com. That's highlevelperformance.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. I look forward to speaking with you. This is JD. Thank you so much.